when he was asked about Abbas, in response he said, Kal Jabalil Azim. He was like a lofty mountain. وَقَلْبُهُ كَطَوْدِ الْجَسِيمِ. And his heart was like a momentous wave. كَانَ فَارِسًا حَمَّامًا. He was a champion swordsman who would go daringly in front of the showering arrows and spears and swords. وَبَطْلًا ضَرْغَامًا. And he was a fearless warrior. وَكَانَ جَسُورًا عَلَى الطَّعْنِ وَالضَّرْبِ فِي مَيْدَانِ الْكُفْرِ فِي مَيْدَانِ الْكُفَّارِ وَالْحَرْبِ. He was fearless amongst the ranks, in breaking the ranks of the kuffar and in battlefield. And at other point, when we ask about Abbas, normally the impression that we get of Abbas ibn Ali in our minds is that he was a gallant swordsman. He had a lot of strength, but we forget the true character of Abbas. Abbas was an alim. He was a faqih. He was a qari of the Quran. He was the most intellectually endowed. He was fasih. He was extremely eloquent. He was all these beautiful human qualities, but because of the role that he played on the day of Ashura, he is most remembered for his bravery. The sixth Imam says, كان عمي العباس صلب الإيمان نافذ البصيرة. My uncle Abbas was staunch in faith and had a penetrative insight into matters of religion. His names are, or his alqab, Abul Fadl, the father of Fadl. Abul Qirba, the bearer of the water skin of Sakina. Qamar Bani Hashim, the moon of the Hashimites. Abdul Salih, the righteous servant of Allah. Al-Muwasi, the one who consoled Hussein ibn Ali. Al-Fadi, the one who sacrificed for Hussein. Al-Hami, the one who protected Al-Hussein. Al-Waqi, the one who saved Al-Hussein. Al-Sa'i, the one who strove in the way of Hussein. Bab al-Hawaij, the door where supplications are answered. And Hamil al-Liwa, the standard bearer. And we come to the story of Hamil al-Liwa. When Janab Fatima Salamullah alayha died, Ali ibn Abi Talib Ali ibn Abi Talib asked his brother, he said, you are well acquainted and well versed with knowing the lineages. I want you to find me a woman from the bravest and the noblest of households, so that she may bear for me a noble, a brave son. When he pointed at or specified Fatima Kalabiya, Imam Ali married her and she gave him Abbas ibn Ali. At the birth of Abbas, Imam Ali picked him, and then he started shedding tears and started kissing the arms of Abbas. They said, "Oh master, why do you weep and why do you kiss his arms?" He said, "By Allah, he will have them both cut in the love of my Hussein." And look at what Abbas was. When Bashir went to Medina and he stated, "O people of Yathrib, you have no place in Yathrib today. Hussein has been killed and his son awaits you at the borders of Medina. Rush to him and console him." An old woman came and she said, "Silence, O Bashir. How dare you say Hussein has been killed?" He said, "O woman, O maid of Allah, I do not lie. It is the truth." She did not say anything. She only said, "Where was Abbas?" He said, "Abbas was killed." She said, "How dare you say that? Who dare approaches Abbas? How can anyone kill Abbas?" He said, "O maid of God, they ambushed him. With treachery they cut his arms off." She said, "If they cut his arms off, then how did he arrive on the plains of Karbala?" And then she said, "By Allah, O Abbas, had your sword been in your hand, no one would have dared approach you." This story of bearing the standard, Ali ibn Abi Talib in his Najul Balagha, in his khutbah, he states, when he talks to the army, he states, let the most staunch amongst you and the bravest amongst you and the most God-fearing amongst you, and the strongest amongst you bear the standard. For as long as the standard is raised, the morale of your forces and army will be intact, and as soon as it falls, with it shall collapse your morale and break your morale. And he instructed how the people who bore the standard should be and behave. It has a long history, ra'ya, from the Romans. 1,000 people used to gather beneath the ra'ya at Badr. Hamza and others bore the standard, but Ali ibn Abi Talib killed the opponents of Hamza, Ja'far and his own opponent. At Badr, others bore the standard, but Ali ibn Abi Talib was the hero and the champion. We find a long history of standards until there came Karbala, and Abbas ibn Ali was the standard bearer of Hussein ibn Ali. But the extent to which he bore the standard was this, that when the spoils of war were being brought in the presence of Yazid within the court in Sham, in Damascus, he saw the women, and then his sight fell on a standard. He stood from his place. Then he sat down. Then he saw the standard again, and he stood again inadvertently. And the third time when he saw the standard, he said, "Whose standard is this?" They said, "This is the standard of Abbas ibn Ali." He said, "Wallahi ya Abbas, laqad abayta al-lan." O Abbas, you refuse to submit. And then he said to them, "Look at this standard. There is not a single place on this standard that has not received the blow of a sword or an arrow. The only place that is intact is the place where it was held by Abbas." And it seemed that the standard only fell when the arm of Abbas was cut. But the real strength of Abbas, by Allah, the real strength of Abbas was other than his physical strength, was his godly inner strength. By God, think about this and look at the way Abbas ibn Ali is, this raging lion of Ali and this raging brother of Hussein ibn Ali, who single-handedly removed the blockade from Furat. Just imagine how powerful and how strong he was. Look at this Abbas. He arrives in a rage in the office of Walid by pushing the door and unhinging it with one hand. He is raging. Sweat is pouring down his face. Hussein ibn Ali touches his chest and says, "Not now, O Abbas." And Abbas swallows his anger. He is sobbing and weeping, but the control this great lion has. And then again, on the 7th, when the orders are given, "Remove your tents, O Hussein," Abbas unsheathes his sword. "How dare anyone remove my brother from the Al-Qamah?" Hussein said, "O Abbas, do as they say. Oh brother, do not, for the sake of Allah, I beseech you. Allow them to do this to you, and I shall stand in defiance." Hussein rushes to Zainab. "O Zainab, contain your brother." Hussein comes to Abbas and says, "O Abbas, if you shall not listen to me, then listen to your sister. She summons you within the tent." Tears are pouring down his eyes as he's unhinging the tents. Look at the control that he has upon himself. And then again, look at this great strength of Abbas, the inner strength. By Allah, if somebody is renowned for a particular quality that Allah has endowed him with, if that thing is removed from them, we see those people collapse. Confidence leaves them. If somebody has been given